Just listen in. I'll try to make this as brief as possible and to the point as possible. And we're going to talk about alligators. Now, the alligators that we're most concerned about have lived in contact with human beings for perhaps 10,000 years and now are expanding in number rapidly as food in the form of dogs and people becomes more available while humans continue to build on lake shores in central Florida, while in Louisiana there may be a similar mirror situation being created. I would say these are a subspecies of alligator, behaviorally different from the vast majority of alligators, and we are concerned that simply by the evolutionary processes where increased food makes increased numbers, they're going to spread. Now, I've seen 3 people taken by this kind of alligator, and it wasn't pleasant. It was a very disturbing thing. The lake was pretty deep, and they were a water skiing family, and they were taken, first one, a mother, and then the friend of a son. And the third individual simply lived on the lake, and she was pulled out of her house somehow in the middle of the night. And I only witnessed this by what she said, screamed out. It was a mile away across the lake, or a little less than a mile, excuse me, for exaggerating, and there was nothing I could do, nor was there anything anybody could do when the water skiers were yanked down. Now, alligators are spreading north, and also they may be released when pets, small alligators, are no longer welcome for any number of reasons. People will release them into lakes, canals, and rivers, and they can survive from year to year. They can't breed in the north, but they can survive from year to year, and that's what's happened here apparently in New Jersey, and that may have been what first got me to go where I went, which was the Lake District of Central Florida at the time I did, and where I learned what I know now. Alligators are incredibly secretive, incredibly cunning, and they are intelligent. They recognize people, they learn people's habits, they learn the habits of dogs and other animals frequenting the water. They're very fast, very strong, very patient. They can run faster than a human being for short distances. They can stand and support the weight of an adolescent child on their back and walk. And you can see this on YouTube. They can do other incredibly physical things, but mostly they appear to have organs in their gums which sense vague electrical currents. That means when there's another thing in the water, another living thing in the water, they can detect that it's there. They get an image of this on their gums, near their teeth, very near their teeth. And they can hold that in their mind and approach it and test it. That's what they do. They test things after sensing them with their gums. So they'll try to get a look at it. They'll try to touch it with their teeth, see what it does. You see what I'm saying? But the image that they're getting is an electrical image. They're called vague electrical currents that occur as a result of biological activity. And this area of Central Florida, which I'm talking about, sometimes called Thunder Alley, is one of the most electrical places on the planet Earth. The lightning storms are just outrageous. Lightning will strike in the same spot numerous times. For what reason, I don't know. Anyway, let's get on with alligators. When you have an alligator in the water, waterfowl will sometimes act peculiarly. In other words, they'll drift to the side and they'll stare, looking as if they're paralyzed. Beavers may be missing tails. I know beavers don't live in Florida. Beavers don't, there are very few. I don't think they have, they just have otters as far as I can see. And otters are very smart and very fast. And avoid alligators like hippopotami, avoid crocodiles. But beaver here, if you see a tail missing, it may have been the alligator took it. What alligator? Alligators are rarely allow themselves to be seen. Okay. So what does that mean? It means backpackers should not camp along water, along the shores of lakes in Florida. Okay. It means that this kind of camping along lake shores has to be reconsidered increasingly everywhere, from about Missouri to New Jersey. As time goes on, it has to be brought up whether it's safe or not. Okay? I'm not going to say, you're going to get a lot of wild reports and crackpot reports. And people are going to say, well, why don't we just kill all alligators? Well, if you're killing the alligator you see, you're probably not killing the right alligator. Okay? And if you kill the alligator you see, the alligator you won't see will take over its territory, and that's evolution. So I will be giving you a link to download my 10 rates and 10 rules of the biochemical process called evolution eventually. And you'll be able to read through it and see how clever God's creation is in avoiding what humans, the will of humans, to shape it. So let's try to finish up here. This is a warning and an advisory, and hopefully we can save some lives that might otherwise needlessly be lost through just the good spirits of outdoorsmanship and adventure that we want to encourage. But alligators are a problem. So have fun, backpackers, rescue workers, and other people associated who may be called in these circumstances. Remember, the alligator you see is not the alligator that is really dangerous. And alligators may somehow get between lakes without actually walking over the roads. That's a fact. They may move large prey, such as species such as roadkill, dogs, and deer, from their spots to where they can eat them. They may feed their young or regurgitate. Okay, we don't know if they do that for 1 year or more. We know that they don't like their young to settle permanently in their breeding territory, but that's about it. So we're pretty sure they support their young. So if you have a large pair, 60, 70-year-old, mated for life alligators, they may be feeding young beginning in February, as well as storing up nutrients and fat for the egg-laying process and the nest guarding process. From February to when they are preoccupied protecting the nest and the young, but and opportunistically they may feed the older babies, the older children, while the older children, baby alligators, will feed on small things, very small things, crawfish and just the smallest things, until turtles, until they make actually a metamorphosis to where they will try to take animals, mammals, including dogs and humans. That comes quite late. I think that comes after about 20 or 30 years, I'm not sure. But there is a metamorphosis when the tooth shape changes from fish eater to something else, more like a crocodile in Africa or Australia. It's a large, strong tooth aimed at taking mammals. That's us. Okay, well, I'm glad I survived alligators, and I hope you do too. Have fun.